both incidents live from Arleta. Carlos.
Micah, Cher, as you know, we've been on top of this story since it happened Monday morning. A special needs student was detained right outside the school in what's being called a case of mistaken identity. Tonight, that 15-year-old is speaking out, saying he's still waiting for an apology. That's how a 15-year-old special needs student remembers his brief yet frightening encounter with mass Border Patrol agents outside Arleta High School Monday morning. He was waiting in his car with his mother when they were ambushed by armed federal officers.
I just saw these men coming now with guns pointing at my son and me, and they were just screaming to get off.
Andreina Mejia asked that we not show her or her son's faces as they were left traumatized. Her younger daughter was enrolling for classes inside when they were caught off guard. Officers dragged them out of the vehicle, separated them, and questioned the 15-year-old who struggles to communicate due to a disability. Agents released him after realizing they got the wrong kid.
When he got his handcuffs off, he came towards me crying and he gave me a hug. And the person that was with me, he actually just made a comment that I really didn't like, which was, oh, look at the bright side, like at least you're going to have an exciting story to tell your friends when you go back to school.
CBP sent Ktladt the following statement saying, quote, allegations that Border Patrol targeted Arleta High are false. Agents were conducting a targeted operation on criminal illegal alien Christian Alexander Vasquez Alvarenga, a Salvadorian national and suspected MS-13 pledge with prior criminal convictions in the broader vicinity of Arleta.
In that statement, I feel that they're calling us liars because they're like, we never pointed guns, we never approached them like that.
They left behind bullets, ammunition.
School officials, including LAUSD Superintendent Alberto Carvalho, have called the actions careless, especially after officers apparently dropped bullets on the ground. In a separate case, the community is stepping up to help a rising senior at Reseda Charter High. 18-year-old Benjamin Marcelo Guerrero Cruz was allegedly taken into custody by ICE while walking his dog in Van Nuys. An undocumented immigrant, officials say he will remain in custody pending removal. The district says it's providing added security measures to keep all students and parents safe. But for Andreina and her son, who are both U.S. citizens, the damage has been done.
Yeah, and I can't sleep at all or nothing. Like I did nightmares or everything.
Now, despite this case of mistaken identity, Mejia and her son say they never got an apology. The 15-year-old plans on going back to school tomorrow. Reporting live tonight, Carlos Salcedo, KTLA 5 News.
Carlos, thank you. Meantime, federal agents raided a car wash in Culver City, taking 8 people into custody. Agents stormed the Handy J car wash on Washington Boulevard Tuesday and detained several employees, including at least one lawful permanent resident of the U.S. A relative told KTLA that agents took him without asking for identification. The Department of Homeland Security says it was a targeted immigration raid that resulted in the arrest of 8 illegal immigrants from Honduras and Mexico.
Now to breaking news in West L.A., where 4 people are seriously hurt after a pursuit ended in a fiery crash. The chaos unfolded just before 7:45 tonight on the Overland Overpass. L.A. County Sheriff's officials tell us deputies were chasing a stolen car when the driver got off the 10 freeway and collided with 2 other vehicles. That suspect's car then burst into flames. Fire officials say 4 people suffered serious injuries. Among the injured were 2 suspects who were taken into custody and taken to the hospital.
An unruly passenger causes chaos on a flight bound for Los Angeles, forcing the pilot to make an emergency landing. It was a travel nightmare for everyone involved, fellow passengers and the crew.
KTLA Sandra Mitchell live at LAX with reaction from some of the passengers on that plane. Sandra.
Micah, it was a really scary scene for these folks. This guy trying to attack flight attendants and other passengers with a skateboard and with his belt. Eventually, he was taken into custody, and that flight arrived here at LAX after a 6-hour delay.
704 emergency contact Junction Tower 118.1.
Flight emergency with an unruly passenger on a Breeze Airways flight to LA.
I stayed calm the entire time, and when he threw a bunch of trash on the floor and used some racial slurs towards a flight attendant. It kind of made me a bit upset, and I told him to calm down.
The apparently intoxicated passenger, that's him in the dark shirt and baseball cap, reportedly started a fight with other passengers, yelling racial slurs and swinging a skateboard and belt. Flight attendants subdued the man, but crew members reported he broke out of the restraints twice.
She wanted to try to restrain him. She's like, anybody need help? And the big guy was sitting like right behind her. He was like, oh, no problem.
And just be advised, the unruly passenger is now free, refusing to sit, taking his belt off and trying to hit people as well.
Breeze Airways confirmed the incident to KTLA in a statement, saying a passenger on board initiated a physical altercation with other guests and flight attendants. One flight attendant and one guest were evaluated for minor injuries. The crew was forced to make an emergency landing in Grand Junction, Colorado, where police were waiting on the tarmac.
They apprehended the individual, took them into custody, and then from there, they have an ongoing investigation from there. But like I said, they're in the custody of the local police department.
The FBI and the FAA now involved in the investigation. Violent outbursts on planes have been increasing. The FAA already has recorded 1,000 unruly passenger incidents this year, and today one more with a man now in custody and a plane full of passengers disrupted and delayed.
We were all relatively shaken up, but again, we were all kind of positive. It was really cool seeing everybody come together to help out in the situation.
The FBI saying tonight that passenger, 46-year-old David Leroy Carter of here in Los Angeles, has been arrested. We're live tonight at LAX. I'm Sandra Mitchell, KTLA 5 News. Micah and Cher, back to you.
All right, Sandra, thank you. 11 suspected members of a South LA street gang are behind bars tonight, facing multiple federal charges in connection with a massive sex trafficking operation involving children. Prosecutors say the gang used social media and music videos as recruitment tools.
The alleged victims include women and teenage girls as young as 14. Rick Chambers live in Westwood with more on this disturbing case. Rick?
Yeah, Micah, this case has been in the works for about a year now. It involved both federal and local police officers, and it's being called the first major takedown within the notorious Figueroa corridor. It's a 3.5-mile stretch of Figueroa from Slauson to Century, the corridor, as it's called, LA's notorious bastion of sex trafficking. An often violent place run for years by a local street gang.
What we did today was really unprecedented. It's the first time we filed a human trafficking RICO case against a criminal street gang.
U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley alluding to a raid this morning, Sky 5 over a corridor parking lot.
At one of the motels we hit, we discovered a room, and we found 4 victims total at that location, one of them a confirmed minor. I mean, they were branding these young women, they were raping them, they were abusing them, they were drugging them, just horrific acts. 6 alleged members of the gang were caught up in the sweep, bringing to 10 the number now in federal or state custody, including Amaya Armstead. The lead defendant is a woman. She goes by Lady Duck, and she was out there recruiting these young women, children as young as 14 years old.
The feds say that today's raids dismantled the gang's operation, one in which members promised girls from foster care or